into account the interests of the workers and the employers of the posting and host countries. It protects the rights of the employees while not disrupting the free movement of services.
Parts of the transport sector were exempted from plans after Britain, Croatia and Ireland abstained on the basis the deal would harm the industry. Hungary, Lithuania, Latvia and Poland refused to back proposals altogether. These poorer members of the bloc want their workers to be able to compete on the basis of lower wages and say the reforms amount to protectionism. Protection for French workers is, however, exactly what Macron wants as a sweetener to controversial labour reforms at home. A compromise deal will see postings limited to 18 months, with a 4-year transitional period once the agreement has been signed.
It may not sound very European news, but it is. Chinese leader Xi Jinping won a second term as leader of the country's ruling Communist Party, and he promised a new era for China and the world. The European Union has been one of the most favored investment destinations for China over the past decade. According to a report in 2016, Chinese companies invested 35 billion euros in the European Union, a 77% increase from last year. In contrast, the value of direct investments from the EU to China continued to decrease to 8 billion euros. And there are concerns in the EU that China might become too powerful. And now let's have a look to next week's agenda. On Sunday, all clocks go back by 1 hour as the summertime will officially be over. On Monday, coalition talks resume in Germany, and on Tuesday, the Olympic flame will officially be handed over to South Korea, host of the Winter Olympic Games, at a ceremony in Athens. That's all from me now. Thanks for watching and have a nice week.
The sacked Catalan president calls for peaceful opposition to Madrid's takeover of Catalonia. Thousands march in Madrid to call for Spanish unity after the sacking of Catalonia's government. For the second time in a year, Iceland goes to the polls to elect a new government after a series of scandals. Islamist insurgent group Al-Shabaab claims responsibility for Saturday's deadly car bombs in Mogadishu. The Catalan leader, dismissed on Friday by Spain's central government, is refusing to recognize the sacking of the Catalan government. In a televised message, Carles Puigdemont called for calm and democratic opposition to the imposition of direct rule by Madrid. Referring to the actions of the country's Prime Minister, Puigdemont said, "These decisions are contrary to the will expressed by the citizens of our country in the polls. These citizens are perfectly aware that in a democratic society, it is the parliaments who choose and dismiss the presidents. The message I would like to give you is to have patience, perseverance and perspective, for we know very well that the best way to defend the conquests won so far is a democratic opposition to the application of Article 155. That is the fulfillment of a premeditated attack on the majority will of Catalans who, in a very large majority and for many years, have considered themselves a nation of Europe." He also called on pro-independence Catalans to be respectful of fellow Catalans who are in favour of Catalonia remaining within Spain. Our reporter in Barcelona says, Carles Puigdemont's statement confirms the clash of sovereignties, the Catalan Republic proclaimed by its parliament and the constitution defended by the Spanish government.
Paco Fuentes, Euronews, Barcelona.
Thousands of people took to the streets of Madrid on Saturday to call for unity after the entire Catalan government was sacked. People of all ages joined the Spanish flag-waving rally along with a large number of tourists. Unsurprisingly, there was widespread backing of the government's handling of the crisis.
Hace
La semana pasada yo decía, 2 meses no es nada.
Last week I said 2 months is nothing. They can call elections right now because people feel very bad. There is no security. But after analysing it, I think this is the best measure. Firstly, because you do not see an invasion of Catalonia.
No se ve una invasión de Cataluña.
But others were more hardline, calling for the disputed Catalan leader to be jailed. Among the marchers were political figures such as the government's deputy communication minister and Madrid's regional president Cristina Cifuentes, who told Euronews there was nothing for Madrid or Spain to gain from the exodus of businesses from Catalonia.
Se garantice la mejor sanidad, la mejor educación, es decir, que se vuelva a la normalidad.
Our correspondent in Madrid, Carlos Velasquez, says the government's decision to take control of Catalonia has been widely welcomed, which may be why fewer people took to the streets than earlier protests.
El pasado 7 de octubre, la mayoría de los presentes, eso sí, aprueban la decisión del presidente del gobierno. Carlos Marlasca, Euronews, Madrid.
It's been called the nuclear option, Article 155 of the Spanish Constitution, under which Madrid has imposed direct rule on Catalonia. It allows the government to take control of any of the country's 17 autonomous regions if they break the law. But the legislation is vague, and this is the first time it's been activated. This analyst believes the move is sure to be challenged in the Constitutional Court. From a legal point of view, the Catalan government will react by challenging practically all the measures that central government is taking. It may challenge, for example, elections being called by Madrid, because in principle that's done by the president of the autonomous region. But since the Catalan government has been suspended, it's being done by central government. In all circumstances, the Constitutional Court would take a year and a half to make a ruling.